Alright, so today I'm going to be teaching you guys Chapter 1 from my biology book. And basically what that's going to cover is science, how it can help us, and when it is needed, and how questions come about, and how it can help us with questions that we have in our everyday life. So, by answering those questions, to answer those questions, we need to use a scientific method, and that's something that we're kind of going to go over. And so, we'll just talk about the main parts of the scientific method and kind of go into a little bit of detail into them. So, alright. So, what do you guys think the definition of science is? Xana, do you know?
Trying to come up with solutions to everyday problems by experimenting and stuff.
Thank you. That's very good.
I concur.
That is a very good definition. So yeah, and then just more, I guess, in more simple terms, it's just body of knowledge. So, for example, biology, that's the study of living organisms. So, it's the body of knowledge relating to living organisms. So that's kind of a little subcategory of it. So, I want you to picture yourself in, okay. So I want you guys to picture yourself at your house. You're kind of bored, so you go sit on the couch and you decide to turn on the news. And the person on the news says that there's this big breakout of this disease, and we're just going to make up a disease. We'll say it's the orange disease. And so they say that it's just really crazy, and you think back and you realize that your friend Joe had it, and your friend Mindy, they have it, and your cousin Paul, and so you're just thinking about, so you've had some experience with this disease or whatever, and you've seen it. So you're sitting there thinking, and you think it would be really, so you're wondering, how can they solve this? And so obviously you think, well, through science. And so you decide that you're really bored, and so you think it'd be really cool to come up with a solution or to see where this came from, this disease. And so you decide to ask yourself causal questions. And so, what are causal questions? Does anyone know what causal questions are?
Questions like, go ahead.
No.
There are questions that have like that you want to know the cause to something.
Mm-hmm. So kind of like, why do we have orange disease? Yes, why do we have orange disease? And then, where does it come from? Where does it come from?
Alan, you smart soul.
Who gets it?
When?
When did it start? Yeah.
How?
How? Yeah.
What is it?
What is it? Yeah.
Who would
I think
we
covered
got
all of it. Thank you. So yes. So there you are sitting on the couch, and these things are just kind of coming to mind. Nothing too crazy. So thank you guys for the participation. So here you are, and before you can make your hypothesis, you have to make observations. And so in order to make these observations, you have to answer these questions. And so there you are, and you're thinking, okay, well, I think that my cousin Paul and Mindy tend to drink a lot of orange juice, and my friend Joe likes to eat oranges a lot, so I think that oranges cause this orange disease. And so, those are kind of your observations, and so then you decide to do some research, and that's what you have to do, a little bit of research just before you do your, before you create your hypothesis. So you do some research, and so you look at, let's say, I don't know, or Oceanside, California or something, and there are a lot of oranges grown there. That based on statistics online, you know that a lot of people tend to eat oranges there. And so you compare how many people have this disease in that area as opposed to some other area where they don't really consume very many oranges. And so that's just kind of getting you started with your hypothesis. So then, So now you're ready to do your hypothesis. So does anyone know what a hypothesis is? No? Okay. Well.
A hypothesis is like something you come up with a solution to your question.
You think the result will, kind of what you think the result will be.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of your educated guess. You're drawing on past knowledge, right? So just something interesting about the word hypothesis. Does anyone know what hypo means?
Prior?
Like under, right?
Oh.
Okay. So it means under. Sorry about my handwriting. Does anyone know what thesis is?
It's like a statement.
Yeah. Or an idea that's put forth. So
So the underlining idea.
yeah. Exactly. So it's kind of an underdeveloped guess, right? So it's not quite there. You don't really know for sure, but it's kind of your starting point. Okay. Well. So. All right. So now here you are. So we're going back to our little scenario, and so you are thinking about this orange disease, and so you decide that your statement will be, as my consumption of oranges increases, then so will my likelihood of catching this orange disease or whatever. So, all right. Okay. So then, so you have your hypothesis and you're so excited, so you run to your biology textbook and you want to check and make sure that your hypothesis is a good hypothesis. So first off, there are 4 things we need to make sure that our hypothesis has. So number 1, is it based on observations? So you want to make sure that it's not something like the sky is blue because trees are green. Like, it has to actually have some sort of knowledge that you're drawing upon. It can't just be something random and crazy. So then you also have to make sure that it's testable. So you have to be able to test it. You can't just say something like, I think that it's wrong to steal, so I'm going to prove that stealing is wrong. That's not testable. You can't prove that. It's just, that's based on morals. So, third, it cannot be supernatural. Unfortunately. So it has to be contained. It has to be something that we have knowledge of in our natural world. It can't just be something crazy like, can you read people's minds? Or just something crazy like, do I have superpowers? It has to be something that you can actually be controlled and tested.
So for once, God is not the answer.
She's one.
Well, okay. Anyway, so, and then 4 has to be, sorry about my handwriting, false. Spelled wrong. Okay. Has to be falsifiable. So that means that, how am I doing on time?
Oh, you're at 10 minutes.
Okay. So, it has to be falsifiable. So that means that you have to be able to disprove it. Nothing in science is proved. So we can have really good theories, and they can be repeated and tested quite a bit, and we feel like they're reliable, but nothing is ever really proved. And so we have to be able to disprove it. So, okay. Okay. So now we're going to talk about inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. So does anyone know what inductive reasoning is?
It's induced.
Haley does.
I think I know what deductive one is.
Okay, so what's deductive now?
Isn't that when you have like facts and use like logic
Yes.
with those facts? So then inductive would that just be the opposite where you just
It's just through observation.
okay.
So it's nothing too. Oh yeah. Go ahead, Haley.
Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
I was like, oh, am I wrong? Oh, really? Okay.
That's really bad at participating.
I had to get my laugh in the video.
Okay, so now I'm just going to show you guys a little example of inductive reasoning. Okay. Sorry.
Who's that? The sweet child I've been waiting for.
It's Little Red Riding Hood, Grandmother.
Wonderful. I've been planning for your visit.
I brought you fruit and cakes and honey and a bunch of pretty wildflowers.
Oh, I started too early.
Come in, dear. The door is open.
Oh, Grandma, the forest is full of flowers. Grandmother, you look.
Tired, dear. Very tired. Now come close and sing me a little song.
I'll bring you a treat. Grandmother, what big ears you have.
Big ears? Why, the better to hear you with, my dear. Now come closer so I may hear your little song.
Grandmother, what big eyes you have.
Big eyes? Why, yes, the better to see you with, my dear. Come closer. Let me see the lovely flowers you picked for me.
Grandmother,
Just a little closer, dear, so that I can smell the flowers.
Grandmother, what teeth you have.
Of course, my sweet child.
Okay. So, hopefully you don't
Duh.
But, okay, so that was just a little video about, Little Red Riding Hood. And so was that inductive reasoning or deductive? Inductive, right? She couldn't prove that it wasn't a grandma. Well, she couldn't really see her all the way. But she just thought, well, she has pretty big ears, and I remember my grandma having very big ears and teeth and all that. So that would be inductive reasoning. Okay, so, okay, so going back to our little orange disease experiment or whatever, one thing, so here you are and you're going to test out whether your hypothesis is right. So you decide that you're going to take 100 of your friends. You're pretty popular, so you have 100 friends just sitting around.
Yeah.
And so you
Like
take 100 of your friends and you decide to split them into two groups. And so you have a group over here of 50 friends, and then you have a group over here of 50 other friends. And you decide that this group is going to eat 4 oranges a day, and this group is not. And so you do that, and they, so these friends for 3 weeks, after 3 weeks, you check the results, and you find out that this group has 40% more people that have the orange disease or whatever, and this group only has like 2%. And so you feel like you've just proven something, and you're so excited. But then your friend, friend Zana, tells you that you actually didn't do a very good